Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. Today we have the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. She has arrived and we're going to create a look with it. So before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads. And if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's go take a look. Okay, I've got my glasses on, you know I mean business. This is the Roxa palette. Now, this was meant to be released in Australia at Sephora a few days after it was released on the Natasha site. So I thought after my last experience of waiting 4 weeks, nearly 4 weeks for it, I'll wait for it to be released on Sephora. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I think 2.5 or 3 weeks, however long it was, after it was released, I bit the bullet and ordered direct from Natasha, and then 2 days later it was released at Sephora. Of course it was, because that's Murphy's Law. So let's have a look at, I'm just opening up the description. So it's a midi palette, her usual, on Sephora it is $125. These have gone up 15 shades featuring the richest, most vibrant purple and fuchsia hues, showcasing her revolutionary metallic, sparkling foiled and sparkling wet effect eyeshadows. This palette debuts a brand new ultra soft, highly pigmented, impeccably blendable silk matte formula with an extremely velvety soft finish. 8 silky mattes, 4 sparkling foiled, 1 metallic, 1 wet effect and 1 sparkling topper. Now, I'm late to the party, obviously. Everyone's got them, so I'm not swatching. There are plenty of people that do all the swatches. I do have some palettes here to compare it to. But first up, we'll start with the shade, with doing the look. As per usual, I've taken my glasses off. I can't read them. Aren't you lucky that you follow me? Or that you're watching this, a woman who is as blind as a bat with super saggy eyes, a lot of eyelid space, but is that because I've got a lot of eyelid space or is it because it's super saggy? Bump on her nose, thin lips, wrinkles, and can't see. Anyway, okay. So there's been a lot of complaints. I haven't really watched any videos, like I haven't watched the looks, I've just watched the start of it, and I've seen on websites people complaining about it not being truly purple. Now look, let's just cover that. It's purple. It's because we've got these shades in here. Look, essentially these shades is what takes it away, and what people, but if we cover, like let's cover that, she's purple. She really is. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 palettes sitting here after to do a comparison with. Going in first with this shade here. This new matte, I can tell you straight away, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's, what did they say about that? It's a new matte formula, silky matte formula. I don't know if it feels any particularly different. Like I've just rubbed my finger in it. I think previous mattes might feel a little bit maybe wetter, for want of a better word. That's pigmented straight away. My eyes are prepped as per usual with the M.A.C paint pot in soft ochre. So this, I'm just wondering if this ripple, this is her new aesthetic with all of her palettes now, given that we've got a few. And you can't tell me that's not purple. Well, it's lilac-y, but yeah, I don't know. There's I mean, some of the palettes I've got here have got the vibe or are even more purple, and one of them is very controversial. I don't even know if it's still available, probably not, but I'm just showing it because it is in my collection as a palette for comparison with purples. Now, I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is a bit darker now. Through the crease to darken up. Now the thing is, if you are not into a purple vibe, then this is going to feel like a lot, because I'm sorry, we are purpley fuchsia, exactly like she said. It's a tone of purple. It's not, you know, just like you can get sky blue, light blue, cerulean blue, royal blue, navy, turquoise, they're all blues. Just like you can get a boring person, an even more boring person, a slightly less boring person. It's all shades. Righty-ho. Let's go in with this. It's a bluey looking purple. But let's see. Purples are one of the hardest, notorious. Look at that. That's real purple. Purple is one of the hardest tones, hardest shades to formulate. Notoriously one of the most hardest shades to formulate. I don't know why. I haven't looked that deep into it. I just know that purples can end up very patchy sometimes, and that it is, well, I guess it's the mixing of the pigments possibly to get these shades. I've got a little bit patchy there, but that's a me issue, not the palette issue, in that I skipped a few folds happening on this side of my face. Yes, I know. I can get a blepharoplasty, and one day I will. Like I can get Botox, and one day I will. Like I can get lip injections, one day I might. That might be the soonest thing that happens. Just not wanting it right now. And I know everyone says you'll regret it and you'll wonder why you didn't get it sooner. Well, maybe I will. But also, I'll be having my face cut into, and as someone who's got a very big bump on her nose with scarring from facial reconstruction, and that is now bone calcification, you understand my trepidation. And this wasn't done by a shonky doctor. It was done by one of the top plastic surgeons, my nose, but not everything goes perfect, and not, if you've just got a slight bump on your nose that you want to get fixed, that might be fine. However, if you've had your nose broken and essentially plastered on the side of your face, that is a significant trauma, and it can cause bone spurs on your nose. It can cause your nose to collapse. It can cause not the best look. So I'm always really nervous about getting stuff done around this area now, quite frankly. And I don't have Botox at the moment. One, because I wanted to put it off as long as possible, and I always think that you should have Botox later rather than sooner to avoid being a 25-year-old woman that could be 35, 45, 49, and everyone looking the same. God, I'm on a rant, aren't I? And for me, aging has been a privilege. I've known too many people that haven't got to age. Okay, so we are looking quite purple there. Now, I just want to, let me get a small brush. I want to go in with this darkest tone here. There's no cream to powder shades, which is interesting. I'm just doing this along this area here. Just want to see a little bit of further depth in this part. I am going to go over that, possibly in a minute, but that's a little bit deeper again. This is more eggplanty, so you can end up with a really, really smoky eye. Let's go into, we've got a couple of purple shades here. So we've got this one, and then we've got this patchy one. Oh, don't you hate ruining that? They're very, very, oh, look at that. They're very different. That is a mood. And that's what I thought. I'd put that over this eggplant. Just to give it a little bit of shim shim. Clean off my finger. Oh, I mean, I have to use this, don't I? Look at that. I really like that. Let's just have a look. 1, 2. Oh, look at that one. Oh, oh, ah. I should have swatched them more before I went in hard, hey. Oh, well. I think this is more like a topper, because I'm really having to build that up. It's pretty though. So we're leaning into real purple territory here, but if you think I'm not sticking that somewhere, just a little bit. That's this one here. Little bit of dimension. Now, I am going to go in with the M.A.C Zoom Liner in Lilac. Any purple, any lilac-y type shade. Sorry, neighbourhood dog set off. I really want a deep, deep purple. If you know a good brand that does a really deep purple. I'm wondering, do Urban Decay do one? Really deep purple is what I'm after. I don't have one of them in my eyeshadow, in my eyeliners. Okay, so under the eyes, going in with, let's go in with this eggplanty shade. I'm going to buff it out though, obviously. This, can I tell you, this didn't particularly excite me because I do have a few purple palettes. So, and a few of them have been done quite well. I haven't grabbed all of the purple palettes that I've got today. I've just literally grabbed the ones that were sort of at the front of the collection, just so I can show you some comparisons. But this is actually probably performing a little bit better than what I thought it was going to. Tucking that in. Okay, now to blend out this and soften the eyeliner, we've used these sorts of shades, yeah? So I'm going to go over to this one, which is slightly more red base than purple. And it's quite intense. So I'm going to have to rethink this because I want to really soften it. I mean, you can keep it pretty sharp that way, but I am going to soften it a little. Going to go into this. I'm just thinking about my liner underneath my eye. That's a bit better. And soften it that way. Now, if you like purple, I think you're going to like this, I think. I just don't know. If you really like purple, you may already have. Now, this is, I'm going to go into a few different shimmers here. I'm going to go in, bearing in mind I'm upside down. I'm going into this one and this one, and you bet I'm going into that. So that's a bluey pink. That's more, I think this is the topper, 100%. That's the center one. Add a bit, oh yeah, that's adding. Can you see the difference in that? Sparkle across the top. I don't know if you can. These toppers that she has created just add a little fine sparkle and dimension, I find, that I really like. Now, going in, this could be a mistake, but I'm going in with this grey, really soft grey lilac. I need a different brush. This is more of a bullet brush than a flat one. Going in just in here, just to lighten up the inner corner. A little bit before I, of course, add something there. And this brush, which has been this outer corner purple, I've got nothing on it. It's just what's left on there, bringing it in to help create the shape there. And then this, I'm going to, this sparkle, just put in, I'm going to put in with my finger. Just to add a little bit, because I can never have enough. And if you're hearing the Greatest Showman go in your head now, you're welcome. This would look really good with, like I said, a really deep eggplant eyeliner, like a really deep true purple or eggplant. Even black. I'm not going to put black on today because it is daytime and it might be a bit, just a little bit too much. That was a pretty simple look to make. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. What I'm going to go and do is do my lips, put some mascara on, and I'll be right back with a few different palettes to compare it to. Okay, so this is the final look. Please excuse my mascara that's looking clumpy. I have been trying to use some that I haven't particularly liked, and this one I keep wanting to give it a chance and it just keeps going clumpy on me. The firework one, just not a fan. But we're looking very purple. What do you think? Now, some palettes to compare it to use as a comparison. I'm going to start off with the only really cheap, affordable one I've got, and that is the, I don't know if this is still available, it would be somewhere, the Essence Disney Villains Ursula palette. So as you can see, we have got some shimmers in here. This was a multi-tonal one like that. Actually, let's compare that and see if there is any comparison. I mean, there's not. This is a much drier. The Essence one is a much drier formula. You wouldn't expect them to be the same. However, it is a very, very similar vibe in it if you just cannot afford the 125, but you want purple. Now, the rest have essences of purple, including Natasha's own Trio Chrome palette. That's not going to save you money though. That's going to cost you more money. Glaminatrix. Glaminatrix have their Pretty in Pastel palette. This has a row of purples. This will give you a really, really deep intense. You've got your tonalities up through here. So a minimal mini version if you don't want to have to think too much. You also get a variety. Next, 3 palettes. Okay, first up we have the Glamlight X Michaela palette. This has a row of fuchsia purples. This is a great formula. Again, you're going to get a much bigger palette, but you're going to get some amazing shimmer formulas if you are wanting purple. So I'm just showing you these to give you something to compare it to. I have 2 now from Blend Bunny. The first being the Surge palette that has a row of purples and fuchsia. I love Blend Bunny. Like, I love Blend Bunny. The next one is a Blend Bunny palette as well, but it's giving you a vibe and other color stories. This is really giving you a vibe. I haven't even used this yet. It had been on my list to get for a long time and it kept going out of stock, and it's finally come back in, and I heard a rumor it was going to be discontinued, so I made sure I jumped on it. And that is the Lure palette. So Natasha Denona Roxa, like, look at this. You've got 2 rows here that you can use to give you those vibes. And then, well, actually you've got 3 that you can pull from in actual fact, because this, like, this is purple vibes. This is leaning more into a rosy brown color, but these 3 rows lean right into it. I can't wait to play with that. I am going to create the real mermaid look. I might even pull out the fishnet and stick on my face. This palette I really debated about showing because of the controversy around it, but I got this a long time ago. Jeffree Star, I don't even know what palette it's called. Bloodlust, maybe? That's a purple palette. He's got a couple of pops, like he's got a few different pops of colour in it, but look, this is all purples. He did this years ago. And then lastly, the ABH Norvina collection. Is this the Pro Pigment palette number 5? She's purple. She's got a lot of purples in there. Comparing it to Natasha, it's a bit hard because they don't, there, that's better. You know, there's a glitter in that, which I don't particularly like. There's a lot of browns and roses. Sorry, I'm pulling it this way so I can see in my mirror. But that's just a few palettes to give you a comparison to. I like this. I did pull out this, but it's her Love Face palette, but that leans more pink than anything, particularly when you hold them up next to each other. I do prefer this immediately over, speaking of the Love Face palette, over the Love palette. The Love palette's probably one of my least favourites, if not my least favourite, out of all of her MIDI palettes. Is this groundbreaking? No. No, it's not. Is it really pretty? Yes, it is. Are the shades blendable and easy to work with? Yes, they are. But I wouldn't expect anything less, because it's the thing that I always say about Natasha palettes, which is why she's my favourite brand. They're workable, they're easy to use, they blend like a dream, they mesh really well together. And that's because she is a teacher. She knows her colour theory. She knows what complements each other. I mean, it's a really, really pretty look. If you've got big, big brown eyes, mine are hazel, this on brown, really rich, warm brown eyes would look stunning. I'm not even mad at this quad here. It's showing up more purple on the camera. This is a real rosy colour. This reminds me of her retro palette a bit, and also the Huda Rose maybe. But look, it's pretty. It's pretty. It's pretty. You'll see, Natasha, I don't tend to do the big, oh my God, like I do over other palettes, the shimmers on them. These perform beautifully. These perform complementary. I tend to take Natasha palettes away with me, whether it's this size or 5 pans, when I go away quite often, because I know that they'll perform. I know that they'll make my eyes look great. So that's telling you something. What do you think? Have you been interested in picking this up? Do you like that shimmer? Anywho, I'm going to go work. So, until next time, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends, come along, hang out, subscribe. I'm thinking about doing my Natasha middies as one of my monthly, where I do makeup every day. I've got enough to do an eyeshadow look on top of my other videos of a week coming up. I don't know whether you guys are interested at all in that. You seem to like the mini ones, so I can do that with the middies and I've got a few of her larger palettes obviously, and I can do a ranking on them if you're interested. Let me know. Gotta go. I'm gonna keep talking all day. Till next time, my loves. Take care. Bye.